Now let's look at installing OpenShift Container Platform. Just as Kubernetes, the OpenShift Container Platform can be installed on bare metal VMs or as a managed service on cloud. This is a very important lesson because the installation of the OpenShift Container Platform takes a different approach as compared to Kubernetes cluster installation. So please flow along with me. You can ask questions in the description section below or in the comment section on the website. I'll be dropping the link to this website, to this particular lesson, in the description section below so that you can easily navigate on the website and ask your questions, and also you can subscribe to our newsletter for courses like this. So OpenShift has two major installation methods. The first one is called the installer provisioned infrastructure, also known as IPI, and the second method of the OpenShift installation is called the user provisioned infrastructure, also known as UPI. So let's talk about the first one, which is the IPI. From the word installer provisioned, this means that an installer program will be responsible for deploying the OpenShift cluster on an infrastructure the installer program itself will provision and maintain. This is a full stack automation process. This process is fully automated, and OpenShift manages all the cluster aspects, including the operating system itself. Secondly, or alternatively, you can use the UPI method to install the OpenShift cluster if your environment does not support the IPI method. And from the word user provisioned, this means that you, which is the user, will be the one to prepare and maintain the infrastructure the OpenShift container platform will be deployed on. This is also known as pre-existing infrastructure. So in summary, for the IPI method, the installation program provisions and maintains the infrastructure the OpenShift container platform will be deployed on, while for the UPI method, you, the user, will prepare and maintain the infrastructure the OpenShift container platform will be deployed on. And the IPI method is easier than the UPI method. Since the IPI method is easier, I'm sure everyone prefers an easy route to doing things. So at this point, we can use the IPI method of installation. However, and unfortunately, not all environments or platforms support the IPI method. Let's look at the platforms that support the IPI method of installation. So for cloud, the platform that supports the IPI method are AWS, Azure, GCP, which is the Google Cloud Provider, Azure Stack Hub, Red Hat OpenStack Platform, IBM Cloud, VMware Cloud, which is the VMC, and Alibaba Cloud. For virtualization platform, we have the Red Hat Virtualization, VMware vSphere. And of course, if you don't want to use the IPI method, you can also use the UPI method on this same platform, especially when leveraging on the IaaS, which is the Infrastructure as a Service platform on cloud. If you don't have these platforms, all you have is a bare metal or any unknown platform, you will have to use the UPI method. So you need to ask yourself this important question, which is, what type of installation am I doing? Am I doing installation on cloud, or am I doing the installation on-prem? And of course, if you're doing the installation on cloud, with the platforms that I have mentioned that supports the IPI method, You can use the IPI method of installation, and if you're also doing the installation on-prem, if the platform supports the IPI method, you can use the IPI method. And if the platform does not support the IPI method, you would have to resort into using the UPI method. So moving forward, like I said in the previous lesson, when we were talking about the architecture of OpenShift, I said you must have a minimum of 3 control planes and a minimum of 2 worker nodes to be able to install the OpenShift cluster. So you must have this kind of architecture to be able to install the OpenShift cluster. And in addition to that, OpenShift installation also require using a temporary bootstrap server and a services machine. So in addition, it means that you would have at least 7 servers to be able to install the OpenShift cluster. And hey, come on, I don't have this kind of resources. I don't have 7 physical servers. Of course, I can't afford 7 physical servers for now. And also, I can't even afford to spin up 7 VMs in my environment for now because I have a lot of workload in my environment. Hence, just as we did during our Kubernetes course, where we had to install the single node Kubernetes cluster using Minikube, we will also have to improvise or find a way out by using a single node to run both the master node and the worker node, which means we will need to install a single node OpenShift cluster. From Red Hat perspective, you can install a single node OpenShift cluster in different approaches. You can install one, a single node OpenShift cluster known as SNO using the assisted installer. The assisted installer is a GUI that makes the provisioning or the installation of the OpenShift cluster easier. To use the assisted installer, you need to log into console.redhat.com. You can easily create a Red Hat developer account if you don't have any. This SNO installation method can be used in a production environment. However, there won't be any form of high availability, and of course, which may not be the best practice for your organization. And the minimum requirement for this type of installation is 8 vCPU, 32 gig RAM, and 120 gigabyte storage. Again, I asked this very important question. Do you have these resources? Can your laptop or desktop accommodate this? Because of those who don't have this kind of resources and want to learn OpenShift and use OpenShift for development or testing purposes, Red Hat has also come up with a second approach for a single node OpenShift cluster called 2 Red Hat OpenShift Local. This is formerly known as Code Ready Container. With OpenShift Local, you can install a minimal version of OpenShift on your laptop or desktop. And the minimum requirement for this installation is 4 vCPU, 9 GB RAM, and 35 GB storage. I know someone will be smiling by now because a lot of us have this kind of resources, and for the purpose of our course, for the purpose of this course, we will be installing the OpenShift local first, and later on we will also be installing the SNO using the assisted installer. And at the end of this course, I will show you how to install OpenShift using the IPI and the UPI method on bare metal and other cloud service providers. Before I round off with this lesson, let me quickly address the following. OKD and Minishift Sandbox for OpenShift, and OpenShift on the cloud. So let's start with OKD and Minishift. OKD, meaning Original Community Distribution, it is the community version of the OpenShift cluster. The OKD can be installed on various Linux distributions and it is free. It is free and it can also be deployed for production purposes. At least one can make use of the support from the community. But if you want a professional support, which is the support from Red Hat, you would need to use the OpenShift container platform. And Minishift. So Minishift is just like Kubernetes Minikube or Red Hat OpenShift Local. The Minishift helps to run OKD locally on a single node, and this is a single node OKD cluster where both the master node and the worker node will run on a single node. So the second one is Sandbox for OpenShift. With Sandbox for OpenShift, you can use OpenShift without setup or configuration and it is free. More so, several developer tools are pre-configured for you using Sandbox for OpenShift. I'm sure a lot of the developers like to hear this. And the third one, which is OpenShift on the cloud. At the beginning of this lesson, I mentioned that OpenShift can be installed on the cloud as IaaS, which is Infrastructure as a Service, and as a managed service on the cloud. Yes, this is true. OpenShift can be installed on the cloud as a managed service where the cloud provider, for example, Azure and Red Hat, will jointly manage the OpenShift container platform for you. OpenShift can also be installed on the cloud as OpenShift dedicated, for example, on AWS and GCP, where OpenShift will be managed by Red Hat, and OpenShift can also be installed on the cloud as OpenShift Online. OpenShift Online is the Red Hat public cloud. It's the Red Hat public cloud application development and hosting platform. We have discussed a whole lot of things. So in summary, we have talked about the installation of the OpenShift container platform using the IPI and the UPI method. And we also said that the IPI method is only available for some platforms on cloud and on-prem. If your platform does not support the IPI method, you will have to use the UPI method. We also discussed the single node OpenShift cluster using the assisted installer and using the OpenShift local. We also discussed the OKD and the Minishift. OKD, which is the community version of the OpenShift, and Minishift, which is used to run the single node OKD cluster. And we also discussed about the sandbox for OpenShift, which means you can use OpenShift without setup or configuration. And lastly, we discussed about the several approaches as regards the OpenShift on cloud, which includes the IaaS, which is the Infrastructure as a Service, which also includes the managed service. It also includes the OpenShift dedicated and OpenShift online. So I hope I've been able to do justice to this lesson. And I want to say thank you for your time. Thank you for watching. Please like, share, subscribe, and comment. If you do this, you would help us to, you will encourage us to always make good courses as this. So I'll see you in the next lesson. Bye for now.